Happy New Year, guys. Welcome back. So, first video of 2020. I hope all of you had a fantastic Christmas and New Year celebrating. I cannot believe we're in a new decade. So, I wanted to start off this year doing a little bit of reflecting. I have never done one of these videos. I think it's going to be super helpful for you. And I'm going to be sharing bags I've sold throughout the last few years and why. So if you are new to my channel, hello, I am Mel. Thank you for joining me. I think these type of videos are very helpful because if you are looking into a bag, I know I personally love watching these videos because sometimes it's good to know why a certain bag didn't work out for a person. Sometimes your lifestyle changes, sometimes you just don't realize certain aspects of the bag don't work out. Sometimes you fall out of love with the bag. I will be going through personally the reasons why I sold them, any sort of learnings, and is there any regrets as well. So if you are interested in these type of videos, keep on watching. So before we start, these bags are in no particular order. It's just, if you see me referring down to my phone, that's because I've written them down in my phone. And I've sold this probably through the last sort of few years, and you would have noticed on my channel I don't often sell my bags. And for those of you that know me, you know that I'm a little bit of a hoarder and I am a collector. I love bags. I appreciate bags from all different brands. However, in saying that, I've always mentioned, whenever it's like, I don't really have New Year resolutions as such, but I always say to myself, Mel, if you aren't using a bag, you should let it go. And then just seeing some of the bags I have sold and how much happiness is brought to its new owners just makes me sort of like, no, I do want to sell the bags that I may not be reaching for or the bags that have not worked out for me. Also, I want this video to be really informative because there are a couple of bags that totally, even though I've been buying bags for like 20 years or so, things change. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes, we get influenced, and sometimes, we buy things spur of the moment. And sometimes no matter how much research you do, you just don't realize that a bag just doesn't work out for you for whatever reason it may be until you use it. So with that being said, let's get to number one. So the first bag on my list is the Chanel Walk. Now, obviously, I don't own any of these bags anymore, but I am going to be inserting pictures so that you have some eye candy as well. It is going to be a little bit of a chit chat video, so sit down, relax, and yeah, as I said, I always want my videos to feel like we're just chatting as friends. So let's talk about the Chanel Walk. You guys know I'm not a fan of the walk. I did buy it. The one that I had was in pink caviar. It was beautiful. It was the older style walk. And I love the CC. I love the color. I just don't like the walk because there's two reasons. One, I'm not particularly fond of the chain length. For all of you that have researched in the walk, you would know that the length of the chain is quite long. So unless like you're pretty tall, it does sit very long on you. Absolutely, you can, double up the strap and you can make it work, but I don't want to always be doubling up the strap to make the bag work for me. Also, I find that you really do need to downsize quite a lot when you use the walk. I mean, it's called the walk for a reason, wallet on chain. So you do need to like take everything out and just put your credit cards in because they have specific slots for cards. And I just tend to carry a little bit more. What I did like about it was that, when I did wear it crossbody, which when I did own it was the way I wore it the most, was that it did sit really flat on the body. But I think just personally for me, I tend to carry a little bit more. So I much prefer, the Chanel minis than the Chanel Walk. So for that reason, I didn't even put that up for sale. You guys are probably thinking, when did you even sell that, Mel? I actually had a subscriber DM me. I think I sold this probably 3.5 years ago, so ages ago. And this was the one that she had been looking for ages. And for me, I had just not used it for all the reasons that I just mentioned. That is the reason why I sold that, and absolutely no regrets. Now, on the topic of Chanel, let's talk about the Chanel Jumbo. Now, when I did my entire black handbag collection video, if you haven't seen that, I will link that above. Anyway, in that video, I was already umming and ahhing because I just was not reaching for that bag. I love Chanel lambskin. It's not because I don't like lambskin. I've actually done a video where, yes, I actually scratched my Chanel lambskin jumbo. If you haven't seen that, watch that above. Don't get a heart attack, okay? Because Chanel lambskin is more resilient than you think. I think it looks luxurious. I love it. I just think it wasn't right in the jumbo size. Another thing is that I just own way too many black bags. And in that video, there was a couple that I was umming and ahhing about. The other one I will talk about a bit later. So the Chanel Jumbo, I wasn't using that much. The color, not about the leather. Lambskin, I actually want to add a lambskin either in a small classic flap or in a mini back into my collection because I am really missing lambskin. And also, you guys know that I'm loving bigger bags, but this time around, I do want to repurchase the Chanel Jumbo, but I'll probably go the pre-loved route because it is getting crazy, the prices, don't you guys think? So I think as well that for that bag, I'm not going to go with black. As much as I love black bags, I don't think I need that many. And that's one of the mistakes I have personally learned from it is just because black tends to go with everything, you don't need that many black bags. So that is the reason why I sold my Chanel lambskin jumbo. It was to a subby from Perth. So I'm just so glad it went to a good home. Next up, I'm going to talk about a couple of bags that I actually sold in my last vlog sale. Now, I have already been getting messages and emails from you guys, and actually I get it very often, at least I would say weekly, saying, Mel, are you selling any of your bags and any of your items? And yes, I will be doing another vlog sale. It just takes me a while because I always like to think before I sell stuff. Whenever I do purchase things, I don't purchase it to resell it. I like to thoroughly, like think about it, use it, give it a chance. And if it doesn't work out, then that's when I'll sell it. But yes, guys, do watch out. I have been going through my collection. I've been doing a little bit of spring cleaning with the new year, and there will be a vlog sale coming out. But in my last one, so my last one was a year ago, I sold the Louis Vuitton Cluny BB. Now, this bag is so pretty. It is a great bag. I love a top handle. I love a shoulder strap. I like epi leather. The reason why I sold that bag is because at that time, I think I just owned too many sort of pinky bags. I also didn't like that the shoulder strap wasn't adjustable. It wasn't a huge thing, but the strap, I think it would have been better if it was adjustable. Guys, if you own any of these bags, this is just reasons why it didn't work out for me. All of us have different lifestyles. All of us have different needs. Some of us like, things more secure. Some of us are top handle bags. Some of us are, tote bags. Just because I've said I've sold them and you guys own them, please, if it works for you, that is the most important thing. This video is more for people that are researching about the bag, and then if they've been umming and ahhing, maybe they might think twice because, I don't want you guys making the same mistakes I did, and, I just think it's good to give that sort of feedback to you. I did give the bag a go. I think I owned it for at least 2 years before I sold it. So it's nothing about the color or the epi leather. It's just that out of all my pink bags, that was the least one I was reaching for. So let's move on to Prada. Now the Prada bag that I'm talking about is the double bag in Saffiano leather. I owned the red, and I think Saffiano leather is super durable. Like, it's very scratch resistant. I mainly use that bag as a work bag because it was the medium size. I think it was about the 34 centimeter size. It is a classic style from Prada. It comes in different colors. So this is another bag that I sold last year in my vlog sale. And the only reason why I sold it is because as I'm acquiring more and more bags, I found that for my work bags, I was using my Givenchy Antigona more, I was using my Birkins and Kellys more, and I just wasn't reaching for that bag. Maybe because red in itself is quite a bright color. So for work, not saying I am always, understated for work, but it was quite bright. One thing that, is a good thing and a bad thing, is both a pro and a con, is that within the Prada bag, it does have two compartments. So it's not like you can just chuck a lot in there. It's like you can only fit certain things in one compartment and then fit something else in the next compartment. So I found that sort of with my Givenchy Antigone, I kind of liked it. It was one big open space, so I could just chuck everything in there. With this one, I just had to be more mindful that, okay, I had to put something in this compartment and that. And I like that in bags as well. Like, for example, the Pochette Métis, I like that it's compartmentalized. And I love color. But as you will see a theme coming up, I love red bags, but I think when I do buy a red bag, it just needs to be a bit smaller. So if you're looking for a color bag, I always say this, and you're worried and you love a particular color, it's always easier to pull off in a smaller bag. Okay, next bag I'm going to be talking about is from Gucci. This is another bag I also sold in last year's vlog sale. A couple of you were quite surprised, and some of you may not have been surprised. But I love this bag. Gucci still do this bag. I'm talking about the Gucci Sylvie bag. Now, I had it in the larger size and I had it in the floral design. I actually called this bag my artwork bag, and it was beautiful. Like the florals, you guys know I love florals. I always harp on about florals. And it was in a white bag. It was a bigger size, but I didn't mind it. I know people are a bit wary of going, white with a bigger bag. And yes, you had to be a little bit more careful, but I take care of my bags really, really well. The only reason I sold that bag was because I have another Gucci bag that is all floral, which I picked up when Gucci used to have sales. I think it was like one of the first videos I ever did. And this one was a red floral, but it was in a deeper red. So I really liked that floral bag more, and I find it easier to match. With this white one, one thing that did bug me a bit about it was with the shoulder strap. It was adjustable, but I found it very annoying to attach and to detach. And I think that put me off a little bit. Look, if you have this bag and you leave the shoulder strap just permanently on, it's not a problem. But for me, because I like switching out how I wear my bags, sometimes I wear it as a shoulder bag, sometimes I carry it as a top handle bag, I just found that a little bit annoying. It is a beautiful bag. I gave it a good couple of years. It is a popular style still for Gucci. The fact that they made it in that size and the mini size, I just wish they gave it a little bit more thought into, the shoulder strap to make it more user friendly. So moving on to Fendi. As you can see, there's a lot of different brands, because you guys would know from my collection that I have a lot of different brands because I appreciate what each of the design houses do. So this bag here is the Fendi Kan I bag. I remember it just literally hit the shelves. And I remember when I bought it, I think I was one of the first that bought it. I love the size. It was in a beautiful sort of like bluey gray. Sometimes it looked gray, sometimes it looked blue gray. It was in a smooth leather. The leather didn't bother me. I think that the shape was very classic. I actually liked the clasp, how it looked a little bit jeweled. I liked the shoulder strap. Nothing wrong with this bag at all. And I really enjoyed wearing it. And you're thinking, I don't even remember you even putting that in a vlog sale, and I didn't. And the reason why I sold that bag was because I had a subby message me saying, oh my gosh, I've been looking for this exact one. I don't know, maybe I get like a little bit soft with this, but when I know someone's like, oh my gosh, I've been looking that for ages, and it's not that I don't use that bag. I did use it. I wouldn't say it's my most used bag, but there was no intention on selling it. And she was just so in love with it that I thought, you know what, I reckon this is going to make her so happy. And that is the reason why I sold it. There's nothing particularly wrong with that bag. I didn't like the ones as much in the scalloped versions. I knew that people would think that bag was a very trendy bag, but I thought the shape was very classic. The fact that Fendi have also kept that shape, that, you know, they've got the Fendi Kan I, all the different Fendi, you know, can use and all that. They've kept the shape but just varied it up a bit. I think you'll see a theme with all my bags. Like, I generally tend to keep them for, you know, 1, 2 or more years, because I really want to give them a go and not just rule them out straight away, because I do have quite a big collection of handbags and I rotate my bags a lot. So I just want to make sure I give them all a go. I do like that bag, but I haven't missed it because I do have other bags in my collection that fulfills the same sort of functionality of it. Now let's move on to Hermes. Now this bag here, it was in my like 2017 vlog sale, and I'm talking about my Hermes Evelyne in Trillion leather in the size 29. I bought this from the Paris flagship store in this gorgeous orange color. I think that bag is a fabulous casual bag, and I own the mini Evelyne at the moment and I've been using it so much. And at that time, I think I sold the bag because I thought, you know, I found it quite hard to match. You guys know with my style, I tend to be a little bit more dressier than casual. When I reflect back now, that was not just the only reason. I did a comparison between the Hermes Garden Party and the Hermes Evelyne. For those of you who are interested in those two bags, do watch the comparison. I borrowed my friend's Evelyne 29 and I kind of fell back in love with that bag. And the thing that was the game changer for me was that when I put stuff into the bag, things would just get lost, and I could see things bulging from the inside of the bag, because if you guys don't know, the Hermes Evelyne is unlined, so the back of leather is suede. And that just really annoyed me because I felt like I was digging into a bottomless pit. And so everything changed when 7RP created an insert. And so because I didn't have it, I borrowed my friend's, and then she let me borrow it for a couple of weeks, and then I used it with the insert. And oh my goodness, guys, if you guys own a 29 and you have the same problems as I do, by buying one of those inserts, it changes things. So this one here, after, you know, finding out about the 7RP insert, this one here is a little bit of a regret, because I am thinking of adding it back into my collection. I'm not sure what color yet, but I really do love the Evelyne. And the canvas strap, super comfortable, great crossbody. But yeah, at that time, I just, was so annoyed with digging into the bag. But now that I know I can put an insert into it, things have changed. So it's sort of like back on the wish list. And continuing with Hermes, this one is going to come as a shocker for a lot of you, and so many of you were shocked when I mentioned this, and that is when I sold my Hermes black size 30 Birkin with gold hardware I think it was in my closet tour. If you haven't watched my closet tour, guys, watch that above. But I was like, I always get asked the question, out of all your Hermes Kellys and Birkins, which one do you use the least? And the black one was it. Like, I was surprised myself. When I've been chatting with friends about it, even when I was talking to Karis about this, Karis from Lvlovercc, hi Karis, if you're watching, I was like, I don't know why I am not using this bag. And I really gave it some time. I love Epsom leather. Epsom leather, you guys know I also own it in the Kelly and everything. But you know what I discovered? Firstly, I'm definitely more of a Kelly girl than a Birkin. Secondly, in Epsom leather, I prefer it in the Kelly. In a Birkin, I definitely prefer like Togo or Swift. And I'm not ruling out Epsom, but maybe I think Epsom in a color rather than black. You cannot go wrong with black and gold. It is the most classic combo. I remember that was my first bag I actually got from my local boutique, and I was over the moon being offered that bag. I love it. There is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like, honestly, when I look at pictures of it now, there is a little bit of a, let's be honest, a little bit of a twinge, sort of, because the combo is just so classic. And I think I cannot tell you how many emails, and even still this week, saying, "Oh, I saw your closet tour. Do you still have your black and gold Birkin?" And you could tell from that video, I was like, "Oh, I wasn't sure if I should sell it." So, because I've added more bags to my collection, especially my big green 35 Kelly, I've really enjoyed using that bigger bag. And because that dark green vert cypress or vert cypre so kind of looks like black, it does fulfill that need. But I'm not ruling out adding black and gold back to my collection, but maybe just in a different leather, or maybe in a Birkin 25. So that one, I can't say it's a regret, but sometimes my heart just does miss it a bit, because it was my first, bag from my local store. I highly recommend the Birkin 30, by the way, in terms of size, in black and gold. Obviously nothing not to recommend about that bag. It's just that out of all of them, I'm just trying to be a little bit more ruthless, because for all the bags I keep adding, I do also need to let go of the ones that I'm not using as much. And the final bag I have sold the past few years is also from Chanel, and I am talking about my Chanel boy bag in the old medium size, in caviar leather. It was in red, but it was sort of a more matte caviar leather, and it was a softer caviar leather with ruthenium hardware. So you might be seeing a theme. That's the second red bag that I sold, and you're saying, well, Mel, it wasn't that big. No, I actually really like the boy bag. I think the reason why I sold this was because I went a bit nuts in a span of a year and a half with boy bags. And lesson learned, if you love a bag, when they say, if you love a shoe, buy in every single color. If you love a bag, don't buy it in every single color, unless you love it and collect it over through time. But, and there are people that do that with Chanel classic flaps, or like Birkins and Kellys, but just space it out a little bit more. I think I just went a little bit too nuts, and that's the honest truth. I still have my Chanel boy bag in black with chevron leather. I still have my Chanel boy jacket in cream leather. And really, guys, I didn't need 3 Chanel boy bags in the old medium size. If anything, in one of them, I should have bought it in a smaller size and not have 3 of them in the old medium size. Still think out of all the Chanel boys in the size, the old medium is my preferred size. But I think it was just a little bit excessive having 3. I like the functionality of the bag. I like that it's edgy. I like to wear it on the shoulder, crossbody. I personally don't mind. Some of the criticism about the boy bag is that it's a little bit too chunky and it sticks out a bit, but that hasn't really bothered me. To be honest, I haven't worn my boys as much, so I have been, thinking, should I sell one of them? I'm not too sure, because I'm definitely more of a classic flap girl, but I don't want the style out of my collection. I still think it adds something to my collection. I still really love that bag. So obviously throughout the years, I have a few other bags that I have sold, but I wanted to focus on ones that, are still currently in store, and there were more factors that I could pinpoint. There are a couple that sometimes, your lifestyle just changes, or you can just say, oh, I'm not in love with them, but I didn't think that would be as helpful to you. So, but I'm more than happy, if you did see a bag that was missing from my collection that you wanted to ask me about, yeah, just ask in the comments. But for the most part, I think I do keep most of my bags. So I think overall, to minimize buyer's remorse is, if possible, always get to the store and try the bag on. Put your items in the bag. Try the bags on crossbody, shoulder. Have a really think about, for your lifestyle, what's really important. Of course, we all get influenced with trends, with the big bags, mini bag trends, and sometimes we just get sucked in. Totally, I do too. Sometimes you go through your whole checklist, you've done all your due diligence, and it just doesn't work out. And I think every one of us in the luxury community, we have all made mistakes, and that's okay. We just want to minimize buyer's remorse and, learn from them. And, it is going to be a process when you're curating a collection over years. There are going to be, hits. There's going to be some misses. But as long as you have more hits than misses, sometimes you just need to go through that process to make sure you create the best handbag collection that suits you. So that is it, guys. That is all the bags I've sold in the last few years and why. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I would love to know, comment below, what bag have you sold in the last year or a couple of years and why? I think reading all the comment section, people can learn from each other as well, and I want my comment section to be helpful as well. This year for 2020 for my channel, I definitely continually want to be improving, growing, getting your feedback, and continue making content that you want to see. I know something that you guys have asked a lot about, which I will do, and it is on the list to do, is a question and answer as well. I've just got so many ideas. I'm excited for 2020. Let's make this year the best year yet. I am so thankful for you, and 2020, we're going to hit 200K. I'm just excited to celebrate with you. You truly mean the world to me. Happy New Year again. I will catch you soon in my next video. Bye, guys. To my amazing YouTube fam, some of you may have already heard in the news, some of you may not have, but our country is literally burning. Thank you to those of you that have already reached out. Our family is safe, but I can't say that for many parts of our country. There are still so many fires out of control. It's already taken the lives of 500 million of our wildlife, wiped out 1/3 of our koala population. Thousands of people have lost their homes, and the air quality is at hazardous levels. It's just so heartbreaking and devastating to see this happening at the moment. Our family has donated to the Red Cross and also to Wires Wildlife. But if you wanted to donate, I'll leave a link to some places down below in an article. But just for you to know how big our fires are, they're cumulative bigger than 113 countries. It is just so sad to see what is happening right now. Please keep praying for us, and if you can, please do donate because every little bit helps.